Hello, welcome back to the summer series. What a Wednesday we've got in store for you. Not often you say that happy Wednesday, but today we've got a couple of firsts. We have our speaker dialing in from a holiday in Greece, where her family is, and in fact, actually delaying family dinner, so not very popular because of us. So we're about to say lots of thank yous to her. And we've also got a live gig coming direct to you from Intermode straight after our session. They performed during Workapalooza, our launch concert. They're backed by popular demand. And we're going to be doing a concert every Wednesday hereafter until the summer series. Life's just too stressful at the moment, so we think you deserve a bit of respite, whether it's 9 a.m. in San Francisco or 5 o'clock in London or anywhere between or outside of that. So to our speaker today, focusing on a holistic view of employee experience post-pandemic. And her name is Katerina Psychopaida. She is the lead of experience and engagement at Mercer UK, a business psychologist, which I love. I think understanding human behaviour is fundamental to understanding engagement in our people at work. So without further ado, all the way from Greece, please welcome Katerina. Hello.
Hi. Hello, nice to be with you.
Well, great to be with you too, and thanks very much. And I apologise to the family for delaying dinner. So look, without further ado, we're going to let you take us through your views on employee experience and the research you've been doing, and we'll come back and have questions later.
That's great. Thank you very much, Matt. I will start sharing my screen, so hopefully you can see this now. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be with you today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm speaking to you from sunny and warm Eretria, which is a 50-minute drive away from Athens. And what I will focus on today, as Matt said before, is a holistic point of view around how employee experience will be like in the new shape of work. And when we say in the new shape of work, we mean, post this disruption, post COVID-19, post the pandemic, how are things going to be changing? What does this mean for HR, for leaders? And what do we think is important to focus everyone's attention on? My background is in occupational psychology, so I will be taking the point of view of the employee at the center of everything. So hopefully you'll find some insights in the next sort of 20-25 minutes. I'll start with a little bit of the context. And I work for Mercer. Mercer is a global HR consultancy focusing on the career, health, and wealth of employees, making employees brighter futures every day. And we run a lot of surveys, we run a lot of research. And throughout the pandemic, we really opened up our public research to really understand what employees, but also employers are thinking and are going throughout the pandemic. And it was obvious to us that the pandemic has had a very profound impact on organizations. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see some pieces of insights from the Mercer COVID survey, which is actually live even right now. We are continuously collecting data. I pulled in this today for you. So far, we've seen that 75% of the HR colleagues that took the survey told us that they really estimate a moderate to high impact that COVID-19 will have on the overall financial performance for 2020, a really high percentage of financial disruption. 91% see a moderate to negative impact of COVID-19 on company workforce productivity year to date. So big impact on finances, but also on productivity on the employees. And we asked them, what are the top challenges that they are facing? And right now, the top challenge comes up as the manager's ability to oversee virtual teams and autonomous work. 40% of the responding companies have that as their top challenge. And the second most important challenge is with 37% of organizations worrying about employees experiencing mental health issues on account of the social isolation, as well as the economic anxiety that the pandemic is creating. So really key concerns for organizations. And from the recent Fortune 500 survey, I found it very interesting that CEOs have similar concerns. Over 50% of the Fortune 500 CEOs that took the survey believe that their workforce will be smaller by January 2021. So they perceive that more than half of those companies will shrink in terms of employee size by January 2021. Also, over 75% of them, they really believe that the pandemic will accelerate the pace of technological transformation in their business. So huge impacts, both negative but also positive in terms of pushing on with transformation that was long overdue. How is this affecting everyone else, the employees in the company? What is top of mind for the employees out there? We also opened the communication streams with employees around the world, and we used different methodologies. We didn't use surveys for them. We used digital focus groups because we wanted to get the sentiment. We wanted to get behind what was top of mind, and we used also something called preferences research to understand the rank of concerns. What we found from a European focus group that we ran digitally was that employees are really thinking that employers doing the best they can right now. So people are thinking that companies have responded effectively to the outbreak, 9 out of 10 of them. 70% of employees think that organizations are mostly focusing on regular communications and making arrangements to work flexibly. So they're happy with those communications and the flexible work arrangements. But there is an increasing concern about confidence in the future of the organization and confidence in the job security that employees are having, which is impacting the way that they are able to do their work day to day. 92% told us that the outbreak is affecting their ability to get their work done in one way, shape, or form. And we wanted to dig deeper. What is it that is top of mind getting in between themselves and the work that they're doing? So we did this preferences research, a public study of 500 plus employees. And we found that the top concerns, and this is a forced ranking, so people were asked, what is top concern versus the less important concern? People were really and are really concerned about the ability to care for their family and to keep their family safe. The second and third concern are around the economic impact of COVID and the job security for themselves around COVID. It's interesting but unsurprising to see that customers is really one of the least of their concerns. And we see that in psychology, we have this phenomenon called tunneling, when if someone really is worried about very, very basic needs, like, for example, will I have enough to keep my family safe? Will I have enough to keep my job and pay the rent next week? They are not enabled to focus on productivity, to focus on higher things, higher needs than the basics. They engage in what we call tunneling. So it's really important throughout COVID, it came up that really employers really have to pay attention as to how they can support with basic needs so that the employees can focus on higher needs. And before I jump into how do we see the new shape of work and how do we see the future now, how can we shape the employee experience for the future, I wanted to share a few findings that we found a few years ago from the Great Recession. Like we do nowadays, back then we were also surveying employees and keeping the communication channels open. So what we found back then, and we compared the results of surveys before the Great Recession and after, from 2007 to 2009, we found that back then engagement remained stable. And that was not on our benchmark overall data, that was also proven in case studies of specific organizations that were very much impacted by the Great Recession. So really the concern that is employee engagement, that a lot of my clients are asking me to predict how much it will fall after COVID, really we learned last time that employee engagement remained stable, and that can be explained by the social comparison theory. People that remained within the organizations compared their situation with the situation of others that had lost their jobs, that had reductions in their salaries, and in comparison, they felt good about their situation. So engagement was stable, and so was teamwork and work-life balance back then. What improved was communication, because employers started communicating much more frequently than before, being open and transparent in different areas, involving employees in decision making because they needed to, and really streamlining and becoming more efficient in order to respond to the challenges of the recession. So those perceptions went up. What dropped last time was client service. Again, the customers took a back seat because people were so concerned about everything else. Support, in terms of supporting professional development, supporting career paths, that dropped. And then job security also dropped in the short term, immediately after the recession. But we also took a longer term point of view. What happened later on, 2 or 3 years down the line? What were the more long-term effects of the recession last time, and what can we learn from it? The first learning that I think is very important is the manager readiness. And post-recession, a lot of managers had been stressed to their limits. They were able to respond, they were able to support the organization, support the employees, support top leadership, but that stress started trickling down from the managerial level onto the organization as it wasn't sustainable. So it's very important to make sure that managers are supported throughout this time as a key employee segment within organizations, as they can have a longer lasting effect from their stress. The second one was, it wasn't important enough to just communicate clearly and transparently about what was going on throughout the recession. It was important to communicate clearly about what was the future going to look like. Employees, 2 or 3 years down the line from the previous recession, they really struggled with seeing how they fit into the future of the organization, and therefore became disengaged. And finally, the war for talent that comes after a recession is really important. Employees started sensing the talent gap faster than the employers, and key talent started flowing out of organizations. And that happened back then. Imagine now with LinkedIn and all of the technologies available, how important it is to really make sure that you engage with the talent in the longer term, reshape the value proposition for the longer run, and make sure that you hold on to that key talent, and to also attract the new talent with the new skills that are important for the new shape of work. So this is the context with the current data that we are collecting, but also looking back to learn from history, learn from the past in what we found out last time. Now I want to turn my attention to the future, and how is work going to change? What are the key elements of the new working environment that we see in our research, in the work that we're doing with multinational clients that we're working in Europe, UK, and globally, is going to be the new shape of work? And really, we've grouped these into 6 areas to turn your attention to, and I'll dive very quickly into each of these areas just to give you a taste, and then if there's anything that is of interest, we can dive into it more in the Q&A. So the first one is the return to the workplace. It's important to find a way to be able to return to the workplace more than once. Unfortunately, there is a lot of predictions about a second wave, another outbreak, another lockdown situation. Organizations need to create this enterprise resilience that enables them to support employees to return constantly to the workplace after disruption. The second one is the flexible working. It's the new reality. It goes beyond the traditional policies that most organizations used to have. And it's really important to understand how to create a culture of flexibility rather than just introducing a few flexible policies. That brings us into the topic of working remotely and enhancing digital collaboration. Most of my clients are asking me right now, how do I manage remote-based employees? How do I manage digital working? What do my managers need to do? What do I need to put in place in order to make sure that we protect productivity, we protect creativity and innovation and connectivity? It used to be less than 25% of the employees globally that used to work from home. Now it's going to improve a lot. How do we make sure that we know how to react to that? Then reimagining the employee experience. This is not a new topic. It had been from the Mercer Global Talent Trends. We knew for the 2020 Talent Trends, employee experience was top concern for HR. But only 4% of HR told us that they, in their organization, have created a unique employee experience. So now, with the effects of COVID and the disruption, how can we reimagine that employee experience and put the employee at the center of it in order to remain productive and competitive in the new normal? Something that is very important for a lot of organizations, optimizing costs and the workforce moving forward. Everyone is being pressured to cut costs, but how do you do that in a way that you don't decrease morale, that you don't decrease employee engagement? And finally, a focus on a holistic employee well-being. What are the aspects of well-being that have become much more prominent now after the COVID-19 experience? So the first one is the return to the workplace. And as I said before, it's important to design a way that your organization can become resilient. So you can do this if needed, hopefully not, but if needed, probably multiple times. It's really important to open up the communication with your employees and really design a strategy that works for your context and make sure that you can manage the pre-return, the initial return, and the return evaluation and refinement of every time that you need to return to the workplace. Make sure that you ask your employees, do they have everything that they need to be ready to return? What are their concerns? Ask them in ways that give you very agile, very insightful feedback. Make sure that you take that on board in order to plan accordingly, and then do that at every single stage of the process. And this can be applied every time that you need to return back from a disruption. It's becoming more and more important that we see risk and disruption in a much more permanent way, and we create agile enterprises that can respond to that every time. And active listening is at the center of that. The second one was flexibility. So it was very much common knowledge that employees want flexibility. We see here from this study that 81% of employees would choose flexible working as the preferred benefit when applying for a job at a new employer. Even more crucially, 63% of the candidates would turn a job down if it did not offer flexible working. So flexible working has been top priority for employees for a long time. However, organizations, especially in specific industries, have resisted flexible working, only going as far as introducing some transactional policies. Now we see, this is from our COVID survey, that 74% of employers believe that they will evolve their remote working philosophy post-pandemic, not just their policies, but their whole philosophy. And there's different extents that they will do that. It varies from, just increasing flexibility for on-site work to encouraging a larger remote workforce actively. So this is also done because it really speaks to a business driver. It really speaks to something that drives performance. And the major roadblock in the past was because employers were worried that remote work, flexible work will decrease performance and engagement. But we've seen now through different studies from universities and from the field that actually when we were forced to work remotely, forced to work flexibly, productivity didn't drop. In fact, in certain areas, it may have increased as well. So on top of that, there's also other reasons why to move to a flexible working situation. You can increase diversity and inclusion. You can tap into expanded talent pools to find the skills that you need to compete in the new shape of work. You can reduce costs. You could improve corporate sustainability. We have seen that different industries are doing it in different ways and for different motives. For example, the tech sector is really motivated by expanding talent pools and finding the skills that they will need in the new normal. Whereas, for example, the healthcare industry are driven by reducing real estate costs for their non-clinical staff. So for one reason or the other, really employers are moving towards a more holistic, flexible work approach. And it's really important to think about it in a holistic way, not just where you're working or when you're working, but also what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you are collaborating. And it's really important because it drives the next big topic, the next big question. How do we remain who we are, keep our culture during working remotely? How do we protect our collaboration and our productivity? And there is a lot of things and a lot of theories around what leadership needs to become, what are the leadership behaviors for overseeing remote employees. But actually, it's also very important to keep in mind that the team elements that you see here on the screen on the team level. The first one is to continue creating a safe space. Psychological safety and inclusion are really important for people to be well at work, to collaborate well at work. But in a virtual environment, it is less obvious to know when safety erodes, when safety is decreasing. And so it's very important when you're looking at remote collaboration and productivity that you maintain this psychological safety, that you go out of your way to make sure employees feel comfortable making mistakes while remote, speaking up. They have the ways and avenues to speak up. They can generate ideas and voice them, and that they can request support proactively. So really creating that safe space is one. The second one is fostering connections. And if the situation is that a team was created before working remotely, they were in the same office, they created those team norms that were very clear and concise, they had trust-based relationships, it's much easier to create than a remote work environment that connections are not lost. But for new teams, that is going to be more and more the case, that we form new teams that are completely formed under remote situations. It's very important to put the effort in to create those new norms, to make sure that those new connections are created and that trust-based relationship forms. And finally, it's very important during working remotely to clarify expectation, to constantly communicate what is expected, what are the milestones, what are the deliverables to each and every team member, and make sure that you communicate clearly and frequently, because under this disruption that we are facing and we will continue to be facing, we see more and more frequent changes in priorities and in what is important to focus on. So clarify expectations constantly to make sure that you maintain that collaboration and productivity while working remotely. So these are three very important topics, but there is a long list of things that we need to be mindful of, and we need to help the organization to maintain, to protect while working remotely. The fourth area is reimagining the employee experience. And really, as I said, this is not a new topic. This is probably on your agenda for a couple of years now, trying to make it work, trying to understand it, trying to move from a very much kind of transactional employee engagement level to a more holistic employee experience. It's super important now more than ever. We find that companies that exceed their performance goals are 3 times more likely to have employee experience as a core part of their strategy. So there's also a link to business. And so what we find and the way that we define employee experience is the intersection between these 3 buckets. First of all, who are your employees? What are the expectations that they bring with them when they come to work? Who they are? What do they value? Make sure you understand that very well. Then the environment that they exist in, and now the remote environment that they exist in. What are their touch points and interactions with the culture of the company, the people, the leaders, the programs, the technology, the workplace? What are those touch points and how are they experienced? And then finally, what are the events that they're going through? And not only traditional events like onboarding, being promoted, changing teams, but actually the life events that they're going through, coming back from maternity leave, having to care for an elderly parent, or the organizational events, with M&A being more and more relevant now and in the short term. being merged or being acquired with another company is a huge organizational event that you need to take into account what the employee experience is as well. So taking that into account in a holistic point of view and involving the employee in designing what this employee experience would look like in the future is really key. We have a few of our clients that are asking us now to do digital focus groups to crowdsource ideas from employees as to what will the experience look like next year, the year after, trying to imagine together and design together what the new employee experience will look like. The fifth one is around, as I said before, optimizing costs, which is the reality that everyone is under right now. We speak with our clients about this almost daily. Please let me know, how can I optimize or cut even costs, but at the same time, not impact the employee engagement, not impact the morale of the organization. And one of the ways that we are helping our clients to do that is to take a more holistic view and, again, involve the employee in the process. What you see here is the outcome of a preferences research, whereby we ask employees to come into the employer's shoes and say to the employer, if I had to make a tough choice, because I cannot choose everything, I cannot have everything, what would I choose more over other elements of the employee value proposition or the total rewards or my benefits? Help me make the choices that would not disengage you. So we see here that out of this kind of research, you can get really specific topics for each of the personas that exists in your organization and understand which elements of the total rewards you could de-invest in, reduce, optimize costs from, and where can you replace those costs. So you can see the example of a long-term planner that really cares about the bonus and the pension fund versus a career striver that is more interested in educational opportunities, professional certifications, rather than, for example, pensions. So understanding where to put your money to make sure that you don't disengage your employees is really important when approaching cost optimization. And finally, focusing on employee well-being. And I know that a lot of organizations, especially in Europe and the UK specifically, have been focusing on well-being for a few years now. But usually it is physical well-being, emotional well-being that they are targeting. And they're targeting in a way that is a little bit more transactional, as I said before, with flexible working, specific policies that are getting at specific outcomes. Now, what COVID-19 has created, and we think the new shape of work will require, is a more holistic view of well-being, with two new, relatively new well-being elements that are really here to stay. The social connectivity, social well-being, how people connect to each other while they are remote, and last but not least, the financial well-being. Nowadays, it is not an optional offering anymore. It is not an optional benefit to make sure that your employees can focus on their work and they are not distracted by financial issues that they may be having. So those are the 6 elements of the new shape of work that you need to turn your attention to, as we have seen from our research and from our experience, to make sure that you create a holistic employee experience that will be fit for competing in the new shape of work. But what can HR and leaders do about it? I love this model by Vogus and Sutcliffe. It's from 2003, but actually it resonates even today. What is on leaders and HR's plate right now is to make sure that they create an organization that can respond to threat in a very adaptive way. And what this research has shown back in 2003 is that there is 2 different ways to respond to threat. The dysfunctional approach, the dysfunctional response, which is actually the tendency that most organizations have, is when threat comes, limit information sharing, increase the power struggles, tighten controls, start to try to micromanage everything, hoard resource and not share any resources between different departments, even more accentuated silos, and very isolated leaders because they are focusing on solving their own problems. They're turned against each other because they need to protect their own performance targets. So that's how the response, initial response and dysfunctional response happens when threat is being posed to an organization. What really needs to happen, by looking at everything that I talked about previously and the way that that organizations are set up to be more resilient, is to adopt an adaptive response, whereby, contrary to the tendencies that we have, we start sharing information as soon as the threat appears, and we start collaboratively solving problems. Because guess what? Most departments in an organization will be facing very similar problems. So collaborating to solve them at the same time will be valuable. Loosening controls, empowering people and getting their input constantly, because the answers lie with the people that are in the front line. So empowering them and loosening controls can give you more. And then finally, sharing resources and connecting leaders. Seeing, you have very limited resources when you're under threat. How can you create synergies and collaboration to make the most out of those resources rather than hoarding them? So it's a whole completely different culture that needs to be created so that our organizations can become resilient to disruption at this level of disruption in the future. One practical way to do this is to design, to adopt a design thinking approach to make your organization more agile. So under the design thinking approach, you continuously solve problems and you fail fast, learn fast, in order to make sure that you constantly pivot and adapt to new situations. So trying to create a design thinking approach to all of your issues and problems right now by collecting feedback, reporting out insights to specific stakeholders, prioritizing issues based on data, finding solutions, applying them, and evaluating the impact, adjusting after the evaluation, and so on and so forth, is going to be super important, whatever problems you're trying to solve in the organization. So adopting a design thinking approach is the one thing that I would suggest. And the other thing that I would suggest is active listening. This quote on the page here is really important for me. Being listened to spells the difference between feeling accepted and feeling isolated. So really turning on the active listening will be the major catalyst for an adaptive response, and doing it in different ways. I've been working for many, many years with organizations running their census survey every year or every other year, taking months and months to prepare, producing loads and loads of heavy reports. That's a way, but there's also different ways that can be much more well adapted to the design thinking, with constant evaluative pulses, with open-ended surveys using natural language processing, understanding what employees are really feeling, and crowdsourcing ideas on digital focus groups, utilizing the manager-employee dialogue, not turning everything digital, but enabling that manager-employee dialogue is really, really important in this way. Also, organizational network analysis, understanding the ways that people collaborate beyond the hierarchical structures. So bringing in loads of different methodologies to actively listen and to continuously learn and pivot your strategy is going to be super important in the new shape of work. So with that said, I wanted to open up for any questions, especially in areas that intrigued you, that you had, that you are facing within your organizations, and that you want to dive into a little bit more, and hand over back to Matt to facilitate this Q&A.
Hello, thank you very much. One thing we've been thinking about ourselves is actually how we redesign our physical events when we're allowed to all be in the same room together. We always try and keep our day events quite short, at 20-minute sessions, but I now think we need to reimagine it again, because there was so much information there that blew my mind. I loved it. And I don't think I could then spend 5 more hours listening to that much information. It was fantastic. There's so much I want to cover off. If other people do have questions, please write them in the comments. So many places to start. So the 50% of the Fortune CEOs said that they think their workforce will be smaller in 2021. How many of those do you think are actually communicating that belief to their people right now, and should they be communicating that if that's what they believe will happen?
That's a super important question, and you phrase it very elegantly. But I have been asked many times, how do I communicate more when my message is so difficult, or when I don't even know what my message is as a leader? And what we have seen is the main change in the leadership approach and in the leadership behaviors right now is that leaders need to approach their followers, their employees, in a very much authentic way, and not feel that they have to have the answers to questions always. Make sure that they communicate what they believe might happen, and make sure to communicate how they feel about it very authentically, and how they will be trying to work towards the specific goals, and not feel that they have to approach conversations with them being kind of the ego that they used to have before. Really bringing it down to kind of sharing whatever they have. And we saw that 9 out of 10 of the employees really cut some slack to their employers, and they're saying they're doing everything that they can to help us during this situation. So there is this trust that is becoming more and more prevalent in the workplace, that leadership has to continue working with, so that they can become a lot more authentic in the future.
I think building the trust is a key thing, and you don't want to lose that once it's being built. Trust is another area I want to get onto, but around the other angle. 75% of CEOs, you said right at the beginning, are going to see the acceleration of technology and its usage. What likelihood of that percentage do you think will also come with trust in that technology and their people? You know, we started seeing the whole keystroke monitoring, and just wondering if you actually think the technology, we'd accept that it's going to change, but will the trust be there from leadership too?
Yeah, another very good question. And to be honest, unfortunately, I thought actually that it's going to still remain there across the board. I have to say that I've been seeing already signs that that's going to really depend again on the company culture.
Yeah.
I think there is some cultures that will embrace the change, will say, okay, we've made such a huge step towards creating more trust, towards creating, a better digital transformation, and continue. And there is certain cultures in more traditional organizations that will see this as a parenthesis, and just again hold on to some policies just to say, to tick the box that they are more trusting or that they are more flexible. But actually, I doubt that those would be the winning cultures. I doubt that those would be the cultures that will survive longer term.
And that kind of leads me on to something that really excited me, actually. You always hear with regards to economics and the customer side, the market demands something, and that's where businesses move. It feels like with regards to the flexibility is the number one benefit. If it's what's the word? It's fake flexibility, and it's not real. Maybe the labour market's moving and demanding of employers now that actually, if it's not honest and true flexibility and you're trusting me, then bye-bye, I'm not going to work for you. And maybe actually all of a sudden this pandemic's flipped the power to the people, nicking another phrase, but that's quite exciting actually.
I certainly hope so, Matt. I certainly hope so. And maybe it's not for the short term, because, we've all seen the news every day of how many people are losing their jobs, and in the short term, maybe not. But as we learned from the Great Recession, really the first ones to understand that the market is opening up are the employees. And so if you want, as an employer, to safeguard your key talent longer term, you really need to think more sustainably as an employer. And it becomes something that we talk about with our clients every day. ESG has become a super important point. And it's not just about ticking the box of caring for the environment, caring for the employee, caring for the society, but it becomes really a very key strategic point that employers need to address.
And then 2 more observations, if you allow me, and then we'll see if any other questions have come in. Just one observation, really. I love the dysfunctional response and the adaptive response. And I just think that maybe if you look at the traits of an adaptive response, that's just how an organization should run. I'm going to be stealing that. And then to the top concerns, and I think coming back to you and the psychology and human behavior, the fact that the basic needs need to be met. And for too long, we've just tried to split work life, personal life. In fact, we're living a life and we have experiences, good and bad, inside and outside of the workplace. And actually addressing these top basic concerns will have a positive impact on their business and the customer experience they're getting. And I just want to say thanks very much for sharing that. And if you had anything you wanted to expand upon that point as well.
Yeah, so I think that, I was asked in another panel discussion, whose responsibility is it for financial well-being, for example? Is it really the employer's responsibility, or is it the employee's responsibility to make sure that they don't get in debt or that they have their finances in order? And really, it doesn't matter. If your employee finds themselves in a situation where they are not well financially, then both are suffering, both the employer and the employee. So it's really the employer's responsibility to offer resources, and it is the employee's responsibility to proactively, use those resources. But in the past, what has happened was that there exist resources somewhere in the organization, somewhere in the intranet, somewhere, and employees don't even know that they are there. What is changing now with the digital transformation and remote working is that employers have the opportunity to utilize technology to really connect the offerings that they have, the policies that they have to the real needs of the employees, and connect those two in a much more authentic way to create a culture of caring, rather than just have a long handbook of policies that no one ever accesses. So joint responsibility is the answer, and it's something that is here to stay with us. I find. I
hope. And I think that's a fantastic place to finish. Unless there are any other questions, culture of caring. That's a very good place to start, and it will pay off. Thank you so much. Apologies to the family. The Wi-Fi all held up. We've done well, and this will be on demand. There's a lot to unpick, so we're going to be recommending people go through this probably 1 or 2 times, and I'm sure Katerina will welcome your DMs on LinkedIn and stuff like that as well. So
thank you very much. Before COVID, I was going on stage a lot, speaking to a lot of audiences a lot. Now we don't have a stage, but we have no problem with these platforms. Thank you very much for organizing this, Matt. I know how difficult it has been to pivot again, but this has been great. It worked great, and it really gives me so much energy to do this thing. So thank you very much personally as well.
Me too. I'm fired up, ready for our music. So thank you so much, Katerina. We'll catch up soon. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Wow.
Hello. We're live. Brilliant. How are we doing? Hey, we're good. My name's Grace. This is Ben. We are Intimo. We've been booked through Global Acts for Inspiring Workplaces, and we're going to be playing some tunes for you. You have a little chat box, as far as I'm aware, where you can put in requests for us. So if you've got any requests, feel free to do that. We're going to start off with a Corinne Bailey Rae tune. Three little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the concrete. Maybe sometimes you feel afraid, but it's alright. The more things stay the same, the more they seem to change. Well, don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. Hey, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Blue as the sky, sunburned and lonely, sipping tea in a bar by the roadside. Just relax, don't you let those other boys fool you. You gotta love that afro hairdo. Maybe sometimes you feel afraid, but it's alright. The more you stay the same, boy, the more you seem to change. Well, don't you hesitate, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. Oh, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, oh, somehow. 'Twas more than I could take. Pity for pity's sake, some nights can be away. I thought that I was stronger. When you gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer? Do what you want to, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead. Oh, I say, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead, put your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your head down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Thank you.
Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Set list.
Keep those requests coming.
Okay.
Nice. Fish swam out of the ocean and grew legs and they started walking, and the apes climbed down from the trees and grew tall and they started talking, and the stars fell out of the sky and my tears rolled into the ocean. Now I'm looking for a reason why you need to set my world into motion. 'Cause if you're not really there, then I don't wanna be either. Now I'm filled to the top with fear, 'cause it's all just a bunch of matter. 'Cause if you're not really there, then I don't wanna be either. I wanna be next to you. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. to the gray sky. See 1,000 eyes staring back. All around our golden beacons, I see nothing but black. I feel the weight of something beyond. Don't see what I can feel. The vision is the only validation, and most of my life isn't real. 'Cause if you're not really there, the stars don't even matter. I'll be filled to the top with faith, 'cause it's all just a bunch of matter. So if you're not really there, then I don't wanna be either. I wanna be next to you. Oh my, black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. Stars don't even matter. I'll be filled to the top with fear, 'cause it's all just a bunch of matter. 'Cause if you're not really there, I don't wanna be either. I wanna be next to you. No. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. Black and gold, 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 black and gold. Hey, that was Ben Steele on guitar, ladies and gents.
Thank you very much.
That's a song by Sam Sparrow. It came out over 10 years ago, I think now, but that album is one of the most slept on albums. Go and check it out.
Sweet. Yeah? Cool. You want to do an intro thing?
This one's a John Legend tune. Again, from quite a while ago, but those are the ones we like, right? This ain't the honeymoon, past the infatuation phase. Right in the thick of love, times we get sick of love. Seems like we argue every day. I know I misbehaved, you made your mistakes. We both still got room left to grow. Though love sometimes hurts, I still put you first. You make this thing work, but I think we should take it slow. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go, 'cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. Oh, this time we'll take it slow. Take it slow, slow. This time we'll take it slow. Well, this ain't a movie, no fairy tale conclusion, y'all. Gets more confusing every day. Oh, sometimes it's heaven sent, and we head back to hell again. Kiss, then we make up on the way. I hang up, you call. We rise and we fall. We feel just like walking away. As all of offenses, we take second chances. Though it's not a fantasy, I still want you to stay. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go, 'cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. Oh, this time we'll take it slow. Take it slow. This time we'll take it slow. Hey, well, maybe we'll live and learn. Maybe we'll crash and burn. Maybe we'll stay, maybe we'll leave, maybe you'll return. Maybe love is blind, maybe you won't survive. Maybe we'll go, we never know, baby. You and I, we're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go, 'cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow, take it slow. Oh, this time we'll take it slow, take it slow, slow. This time we'll take it slow. Nice. Thanks, Matt, for your nice comments. What have we got?
We're going to peer across the room at the screen now to see your comments. Cameras over here, screens over here.
Bit of Oasis.
I never heard of him. Oasis?
Who's that?
I don't know.
I think the theme for today was uplifting songs, wasn't it? So let's do something a bit more uplifting. Let's do...
Yeah?
Yeah. Gonna dedicate this one to you, Matt, again for the postponed wedding, but we can't wait to party with you next year. Yeah, crash the party next year. This one's for Matt and Ivy. I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. And I want to spend my whole life with you. Since we've been together, oh babe, loving you whatever is what I need. Well, let me be the one you come running to. Let's stay together, loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. simple breakup, then turn around and make up. I just can't see, 'cause you never do that to me of mine. Oh, staying around you is all I see. So baby, let's stay together, together, whether times are good or bad, happy or sad, 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 good or bad, happy or sad. Hey, that one's for you guys. Yeah, that was Al Green. What a lovely tune. Oh, we're doing a little
Might change
switcheroo
the
now.
guitars. Oh, pick something.
Give us a
electric.
minute.
Mhm.
So, ladies and gents, we've got Mr. Ben Steele on guitar. My name is Grace Walker, and our duo name is Intimo. We're booked through the lovely Alex Woods and Global Acts for Inspiring Workplaces, and the guys at E Awards. So, yeah, big thanks for putting this all together. We've loved doing these live streams. It's been great for us. Actually, getting to play some music in the middle of a lockdown. Stories for your
Remember
grandkids.
gigs? Remember
Yeah,
those?
do you remember gigs?
Weren't they fun? Sweet. Where were we? Thank you.
I love you, but I gotta stay true. My morals got me on my knees. I'm begging, please stop playing games. I don't know what this is, 'cause you got me good just like you knew you would. I don't know what you do, but you do it well. I'm under your spell. You got me begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? You got me begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? I said you better release me. Now you think that I will be something on the side, but you got to understand that I need a man who can take my hand. Yes, I do. I don't know what this is, 'cause you got me hooked just like you knew you would. I don't know what you do, but you do it well. I'm under your spell. You got me begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? You got me begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? I say you better release me.
All right.
I'm begging you for mercy. Just why won't you release me? I'm begging you for mercy. Just why won't you release me? I'm begging you for mercy. Just why won't you release me? I'm begging you for mercy.
Almost.
'Cause baby, you got me begging. You got me begging. You got me begging. Mercy. Why won't you release me? You got me begging you for mercy. Why We haven't been out much for a few months. You might have. You could probably tell from that one. All right, what should we do next? This is a brilliant one. Let's do this.
Cool. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 7.
All your love, yeah. I can't fool myself, don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, 'cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you, how I spent my day dreaming, planning just to say I love you. You must have known that I have feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart and you told me to come in. Oh, my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. Oh, yeah. I just don't want to stop. Oh, my love. A million days in your arms is never too much. I just don't want to stop too much. Never too much, never too much, never too much. I woke up today, looked at your picture just to get me started. I called you up, but you weren't there, and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone, can't be too late, the boss is so demanding. Opened the door up, and to my surprise, there you were standing. Who needs to go to work to hustle for another dollar? I'd rather be with you, 'cause you make my heart scream and holler. Love is a gamble, and I'm so glad that I am winning. We've come a long way, and yet this is only the beginning. Oh, my love. Ooh, baby. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. Yeah. And I just don't want to stop. Oh, my love. A million days in your arms is never too much. Oh, no. I just don't want to stop too much. Never too much, never too much, never too much. It's funny, we've never done that before. That was so impromptu, wasn't it,
Oh,
Ben?
that's crazy.
Yeah, mad.
If only we'd written it.
If only we'd arranged that last week.
I might do an electric one now.
Yeah, sure.
I've figured out what I did wrong last time. It's all part of the show, isn't it?
We've had some lovely comments on the live stream. Thanks, guys. Oh, we've got a new one. Clap, clap, clap from Alex. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for the support.
Cool.
Lying in my bed, I hear the clock ticking. Think of you, caught up in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories. Time after sometimes you picture me. I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me. I can't hear what you said. behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time.
A little bit of 80s.
That was
there.
nice.
Cool, good choice.
We got another uplifting one for you guys. Yeah, we're going to check in with the comments. Ivy, you're getting me through the last bit of my working day. Oh, you're very welcome.
Go put your feet up, Ivy.
Yeah, go put your feet up. Matt can do the rest. Well, my friends, the time has come to raise the roof and have some fun. Throw away the work to be done. Let the music play on, play on, play on. Everybody sing, everybody dance. Lose yourself in wild romance. We're going to party, caramba, fiesta, forever. Come on and sing along. We're gonna party, caramba, fiesta, forever. Come on and sing along. All night long, all night, all night long, all night long, yeah, all night long, all night. People dancing all in the street. See the rhythm on in their feet. Life is good, wild and sweet. Let the music play on, play on, play on, play on. Feel it in your heart and feel it in your soul. Let the music take control. We're gonna party, lining, fiesta, forever. Come on and sing along. We're gonna party, liming, fiesta, forever. Come on and sing my song. All night long, all night, all night, all night long, all night long, all night long. Hey, once you get started, you can't sit down. Come join you see how we play? We ready?
Here we go.
Jambolite say de moya. Hey, jumbo jumbo, it's a party, oh we go. Oh, jambola, jambolite say de moya. Hey, jumbo jumbo. Oh, we're gonna have a party, yeah, all night long, all night, all night long, yeah, all night long, all night, all night long, oh yeah. Said everyone you meet, they're jamming in the street all night long. Yeah. Everyone you meet, they're jamming in the street all night long. All night long. All night, all night long. Said all night long. All night, all night long. Yeah. All night long. All night long. All night long. All night long. Lovely. Let's do
Cool.
we're gonna get Ben to sing a little bit more for you guys now. We're gonna do a
Gosh.
Hey, you know what? If you know this song, the brownie points to you. It's a good one. It's one of those ones that you forget about for ages, and then you hear it and you're like, yeah, this is wicked. We might murder it, so I'm really sorry in advance. But it's a great song.
Which part is my part? Do you start this?
Second verse.
Sweet, amazing. Got it. That's all we need to know.
Hey, yes, I see you crying,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and I feel your broken heart.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can feel your hurting.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Still, you choose to play the part. If you let me be, I'll be all you need, all that you need. Oh, I wanna be the only one to hold you, protect you from the rain. I wanna be the only one to soothe you, erase all the pain. I wanna be the only one to love you over again. I wanna be the only one, the only one I am. Now you deserve a mention.
My Lord, you do.
You can have the best of life. With all this I'll give you a pure love that gold can buy. If you take a chance,
If you take a chance,
I am worth a chance, worth a chance. I wanna be the only one to hold you, protect you from the rain. I wanna be the only one to soothe you, erase all the pain. I wanna be the only one to love you over again. I wanna be the only one, the only one I am. I wanna be the only one to love you, protect you from the rain. I wanna be the only one to soothe you, erase all the pain. I wanna be the only one to love you over again. I wanna be the only one, the only one. If you let me be, if you let me be, all you need. If you take a chance, I'll erase all the pain. I wanna be the only one to love you over again. I wanna be the only one, the only one, the only one I am. The only one, 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 the only one. Woo! Didn't quite murder it. It was all right, wasn't it?
That's a workout.
That's a good
that song.
one. It's one of my favourite ones. Mr.
right.
Ben Steele on the vocals. We don't pay him extra.
Cool. Okay.
Or something different.
Playing
We
our
got
way
some
through your
more
driving playlist. Thank you so much, Amy.
Love
Eyes
it.
on the road, please. Okay, cool. There comes a point in every gig where you have to check your tuning and you stand there like a lemon. Or rather, the vocalist stands there like a lemon.
It's fine. You do your thing. There we go.
Something like that. Okay.
Hey, we know what it is now. On that sunny day, didn't know I made such a beautiful girl walking down the street. Seen those bright brown eyes, tears coming down. But she deserves a crown. Where is it now? Mama, listen, senorita, I feel for you, feel for you. You deal with things that you don't have to. He doesn't love you, I can tell by his charm. You can feel this real love if you just lay running fast in my mind. Girl, can't you slow it down? If we carry on this way, this thing I might leave the ground. How would you like to fly? That's how my queen should ride, but you still deserve a crown. Where is it now? Mama, listen, senorita, I feel for you, feel for you. You deal with things that you don't have to. He doesn't love you, I can tell by his charm. You can feel this real love if you just lay in my arms. He don't love you, baby. Bit that I can't do. I see something that money can't buy, and I know if you give us a try, sing it with me. I'll work harder for you, girl, because you know that you will never have to try. He don't love you, baby. No, no. Oh, no. He doesn't love you. I can tell by his charm. You can feel this real love if you just lay in my arms. do because we've got no real live audience.
We'll have
So
to
you guys
pretend.
can sing it at home, or you can let me chat for a little bit about what we're doing here. So Matt and the guys at EE and Inspiring Workplaces have launched this summer series, and I think there's going to be some more Wednesdays with more acts coming up. So please tune in and support them. And yeah, we haven't been out the house much, so it would be really nice to have some support, someone to listen to us playing our instruments, and yeah, generally having a good time. So thanks for having us. Our name is Intimo. This has been Steele. My name is Grace Walker. I think we're going to play one more after this, so we'll play you out and leave you with something special. Senorita, I feel for you. You deal with things that you don't have to. He doesn't love you, I can tell by his charm. You can feel this real love if you just say your mind. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. He don't love you, baby. Thank you so much. We're going to play one more and we'll tune out.
And that last one shall be... No pressure, Grace, no pressure. Quick, pick a tune. Sweet.
She lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute old. I never thought through love we'd be making one as lovely as she. So very lovely, made from love. Pretty, truly the angel's best. Boy, I'm so happy we have been heaven blessed. I can't believe what we have done, making love just one. Isn't she lovely, made from love? Isn't she lovely? Life and love are the same. Life is Aisha, the meaning of her name. I can't believe what God has done. Through us, He's given life to one. So very lovely, made from love. Thank you so much. We've been Grace and Ben, aka Intimo, and we'd love to see you again soon. But for now, have a lovely evening. Yeah, and check out Inspiring Workplaces and the rest of their summer series.
Thanks, guys.